when I was in my 20s and I listened to some of the records I made back then, it was full of like bells and whistles and me saying, oh, look at me and my stuff. And you get to a certain point when you realize it's really not about you. It's about letting the artist shine in their best possible light, and you have to know when to stop. A lot of times I find myself shutting off a lot of tracks during a mix, whereas before I'd be trying to make me louder, So now I've gone the other way. That just comes with age, I think. You just start to realize that it's really not about you. It's about the artist, Late nights, early days. This was a project that Warren brought me in on a few things. I can't remember. Action Reaction we did from scratch, I think. And we had to actually bake the tapes. We had to put them in an oven at 350 degrees because the masters were not going to play again, So yeah, that was a fun time. And Dale was wonderful. I owe Dale so much because that's how I met the guys. I was playing drums with Dale live. And we wrote some songs together, and Warren heard them. And so yeah, Dale's just, she's such a sweetheart. She's been a huge part of my life. She's an icon. She's wonderful. And she still performs, and she's still wonderful. This record is a very long story. We could do a podcast on this record. I co-wrote a bunch of the songs, co-produced it with Nuno. A lot of it has my adventurous musical spirit from the time. But he's my daughter's godfather. He's a dear friend. We go way back. He's just a spectacular musician. He's on a very high level. He's one of the greatest guitar players ever. He's like right up there with Jimi Hendrix. I'm telling you, he's unbelievable. We worked on this record in Australia, at the Hit Factory in New York, Gary Beer's studio in Byron Bay, and also Studio 301 in Sydney. This was a long, involved process, and it was, I'm very proud of this. Nuno was more involved with this than I was, but I worked with them mostly long distance. The microphones that you read about at the time I was using on my guitars and different things and textures and things. But Perry brought me in. I did meet him at A&M Studios, and that's when they decided to let me contribute. But it was done long distance. So the songs that I had the most to do with were Dog Star, Awesome, Milky Ave, Mr. Sunshine, a little bit on Women in the Winter. Yeah, it was a great process. It got really involved because they ended up bringing in a 60-piece orchestra, and Steve Lillywhite came in to finish what everybody started. So the album got a bit confusing. Like I loved some of the earlier versions of songs that were much more stripped down. But it's a great record, and I was honored to be a part of it.